I'm Ed.
I'm Patrick. This is how you sell without selling out. Rogers That.
I'm Rogers Healy, and welcome to Rogers That, a podcast dedicated to selling without selling out. Today we have two of my friends that are disruptors in the industry of men's fashion. They are the founders, the co-founders of Snaps Clothing, a pearl snap company that has taken the world by storm. Anything from short sleeves to long sleeves, from old school to new school. These guys have bridged the fashion gap from what's trendy and what's cool to what is traditional and what needs to be disrupted. So I'm excited to welcome Ed and Patrick today, the founders of snapsclothing.com. All right, guys, so we've given background. We've kind of shared the story behind Snaps and what led us here, but who are Ed and Patrick? You know, how did you guys create a friendship, and so much so to where you're 2.5 years into being business partners and you're actually still friends, which has proven that you can still do this, even though, again, there is a lot of tension at this table, which we're going to, over the course of the podcast, release the tension, and you guys are going to hug it out. But what's the story? How did you guys come up with this idea?
So me and Ed have known each other since 2017, and we were part of
not that well.
Not that well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can't get rid of them, to be honest. But we were involved in a medical company together, and both of our backgrounds were in medical, and we just kind of, our paths crossed, and we had a really good working relationship, so we decided to start merging that relationship into business, and we let that journey play out. And then during COVID, unfortunately, we decided to exit the medical industry, which is a good choice.
Was it also because Ed was practicing medical fraud, telling people he was a doctor?
Yeah, he's actually not supposed to be on any kind of podcast or have his face shown.
Yeah,
in the US,
no, there's a risk. There's a risk run here, but it's all about the
it's
views.
worth it. It's worth
Blur
it.
it out.
It's worth
Yeah,
it.
they maybe make his voice sound a little bit distorted, like Michael Jackson.
Yeah. So we had a conversation one night, like most great conversations. We were both having a beer. Ed was probably having a bourbon, and we started talking about what our next journey would be. And for me, that journey was, you know, something along the lines of staying true to Texas. And I'm a Texas boy, Texas born, Texas raised. My family's all from Texas. My grandfather was a rancher in Texas. And at the time, I was actually wearing a pearl snap on the call. So I looked down and I said, why don't we do something different that no one's done before? And why don't we take a pearl snap shirt and move it into a more popular setting, into, you know, everyday mainstream wear? I said, how do we do that? So we kind of spitballed from there, and over the last 2 years, really come up with some great products, some great branding, and I think it's resonating with everyone who sees our brand so far.
Yeah.
Which will lead into you. And again, these guys, they're similar mindset, you know, grinders, but different backgrounds and preferred fashion, where I think that Patrick might embody a pearl snap, where Ed might embody maybe a custom suit, but obviously he's been converted. So when you first heard the term pearl snap, what came to mind?
No, I understood it, but I think what, you know, really resonated was the East Texas and just kind of the Texas look, if you will.
I will.
Yeah, and so I think that there's the ability to take that, and I saw sort of a vision with that, being able to take that from, again, something that's, you know, been used and kind of outdated. And I always like vision, so the vision of bringing that into a more mainstream setting is what really kind of took me away.
And had you guys been business like owners before? Had you founded anything? And
yeah, so we founded a business together in 2017, and we had really good working relationship. We seemed to kind of pivot off each other and have good ideas, and so far we haven't wanted to choke each other too much. Sometimes.
There's still time. We have about 23 minutes left on this. So, who knows? Do you think for all the people out there that are potential founders or entrepreneurs, do you think that your second business is an easier one to discover and be a founder of than your first?
Yeah, I think, you know, what we honed on our first, I guess, business was, you know, our operating and business development skills. And I think that taking those skill sets, bringing them into this, I think made the operations of this a lot more manageable, and understanding of, you know, the SOPs, how to make those deliverables.
Like a SOP?
Yeah.
Like a deliverable SOP? Yeah. Speaking of SOP, you know, these shirts, if you're sweating, you can't really tell if you're sopping wet. And so, like, what was the R&D process for going and actually dominating the space of pearl snaps? So you guys decided to do this. COVID, you're finally like, all right, let's pursue something that makes sense. You have families, you're doing this, and you're going all in. But I mean, what was that R&D process like for, a pretty antiquated industry?
So for us, we had zero understanding of the fashion industry, right? So it was a lot of buying other brands of shirts, figuring out what we liked and how we wanted to move into our shirt. The performance style shirts have become more popular over the last 4 years. There's a lot of big brands now that are using polyester and nylon, but we wanted to kind of stick true to, the traditional sense of a pearl snap without getting too traditional. So we felt that having some performance fabrics that are more heavily based cotton, a lot of stretch, easy to wear, soft on the skin, and then it can also breathe really easily, especially in the South, was really important to us. So the process of developing those fabrics took a long time, but the R&D's paid off so far.
Did you go to Google and look up, like, for real? I'm saying if someone wants to start a clothing company, what do you do? How do you go and find that first set of fabric, especially during COVID where you can't just walk in somewhere and touch it and feel it? What was
There's
that?
a lot of ordering.
Really?
Yeah, a ton.
I mean, just go to Google and Google.
So at first we were going to Google and typing in types of fabric.
How do I start a clothing company?
How to start a clothing company.
I think that's also where our knowledge set from previous companies kind of kicked in.
Yeah.
Understood the foundation of a company and what it kind of took, but really understanding, hey, taking this idea and making it a reality. What do we want in the shirt and prioritizing them? And I think that's really where we took it, from concept to reality, from concept to product.
How long did that take? How long before you got one in hand where you could actually realize your company was real?
It took about
Prototypes were starting probably at month 6.
month 6,
Yeah.
And in that time period, we were
But there was
ordering-
continuous progression of R&D that was going on, bringing on new product, new designs, new new fits and all this different stuff to make it into the shirt that it is.
And when you're
now.
getting shirt swatches or any kind of fabric, and you're not used to feeling and touching fabric swatches, we're getting little pieces of 6x6 fabric from all these mills all over the U.S.
And you have to just picture it all over your body.
Yeah, and you're trying to rub it on your skin and feel it with your fingers. And if you've never done that over a long period of time, you have no idea what you're feeling.
You don't have that fabric's going to react.
Yeah, so that's when we started just basically buying a bunch of competitor shirts, getting a feel for what they're doing and what we like, what we don't like, and narrowing it down and then trying to source the similar type of fabric from multiple different vendors all over the world.
Did you ever find yourself singing like Aaron Neville, the Cotton song?
That's all I
The
say.
touch, the feel of cotton in the fabric? I know
You
that's...
kind of went Irish on that.
I know, Aaron Neville, everyone thinks he's from New Orleans, but he actually is from Ireland. And that's actually
You
the
could imagine.
Irish boot on his face. It's not a tattoo he got in jail. For all you people born after 1986, Aaron Neville, the Neville Brothers, a great group, a great harmony group. Aaron sang the theme song to Cotton.
Yeah.
And then later had a duet with Linda Ronstadt, who went on to have all sorts of fame. But back to snaps. So you guys do this. You decide to disrupt, again, like a pretty old industry, right? Where people have tried everything from the moisture wicking shirts to shirts that you don't necessarily need to tuck in, and you guys do this and you pinpoint it knowing that you're competing against pretty big companies that just happen to sell pearl snaps.
Yeah.
Right? So that first tranche of objectives and obstacles, what was that like? Again, it took 6 months where most people would quit after the first week or the first hour. What was the first opportunity? You're like, holy crap, this is actually going to be a lot harder than I thought, or it's going to be a different kind of work.
I mean, I think we realized from day one it was going to be a totally different style of work. It's also, our backgrounds are in medical sales as well and consulting, so it's a totally different sale and business development process and trajectory to market and all of these different things. I think after month 6, once we got hands on a product, we understood what we liked about it, what we didn't like about it.
Did it fit you when you first got it?
It did. Better
Really?
than you. Yeah.
You say better than me?
So we went.
Yeah.
So with the first samples we received, we had some tweaks in the sizing. So what we did was I had my father-in-law, my friends, a bunch of people try it on, just to kind of get an idea of will this fit a larger portion of the population, because when you're coming up with a style, you want it to fit people that are shorter, taller, larger, skinnier, without having to multi-size your shirts, right? Because when you start a company, especially this, the more size changes you make, the more it's going to cost you, and then it's going to be hard to really pull yourself out of that hole. So the first shirts we got, I think it was my father-in-law put it on, and it was so tight on his stomach, he looked like he was smuggling sausages in his waist. It was really uncomfortable. So from there, that's where we kind of started making some of the trim changes. We wanted the shirt to be more of a modern fit, right? We wanted to be more trim, but without being uncomfortable for people who might not be in perfect shape, right? This shirt is for everybody, and we try to fit everybody's body type into it. Over time, we'll probably come up with tall shirts or slim based on some customer feedback and see what they like and don't like. So He
said
that's
tall,
right,
but then
right
he
here.
said slim and looked away. But when he said tall, he looked at me. I mean, but again, that's really hard. I mean, you're appealing
Right.
to the masses where y'all might not have the same build, but you have to realize that you know your target audience, which again, like this morning we were talking about, the target audience might be right now 20 to 45-year-old men, but it's going to obviously grow. But knowing
Right.
that you're not going to be Lululemon, but you're also not going to be just a baggy T-shirt, and that took a different, multiple iterations of a product that eventually became the shirts that you guys have on today. So throughout that process, did you guys feel any kind of overwhelming experience of reinventing a classic and realizing that there's some potential disruption here?
100%. I think when we first started, my idea was, can we come up with a shirt that I would wear to go to the office and then wear out to get drinks, and would my grandfather wear this shirt? He's very old school, very classic. So I think if we could stick to keeping some of that traditional style of the shirt, which is why we came up with this Rambler shirt with the 2 pockets, taking off the yokes makes it a little bit more modern of a feel. You don't feel like you're wearing a, shirt to go out and, work a ranch, but you feel like you can wear it into an office or wear it out with friends. And I
What
think-
we say is you get into a bar fight or go to the boardroom.
True.
Snaps.
In a bar fight, you rip it off in a snap.
Yeah. If Patrick Swayze was still around, he would wear this shirt.
Roadhouse, 100%.
Yeah, another pre-1987
We're
reference.
aging ourselves really
Yeah,
quickly.
I'm sorry. Patrick also has readers.
They're hidden right now.
Yeah, they're hidden. So again, with this, I mean, going from the medical device field, which again is relatively undisruptible because it's run by people that are never going to show their face, but with what we're doing in the world of snaps, I mean, what was your first moment where you realized, like, okay, we actually really have something here?
I think it was the honest feedback that we had from people that were trying it on and everything, and said, this is something that I can actually see myself wearing out to go grab drinks or whatever it may be, and making sure, their feedback was paramount, I think, in the direction that we took it. I think we had a core understanding of what we wanted out of the shirt, but, again, their feedback is everything. Consumer feedback's everything.
Yeah, and
So-
we personally talk to, like, I'll call, we have a customer support team, but if I feel like I can call and personally engage somebody, I'll call them, right, and see what they have to say about it. Some of the best feedback I got was that people have never worn a snap are starting to wear snaps, and they feel awkward wearing a button afterwards because they want to rip their shirt off, at the end of the day, and they might break their shirt up.
Golly,
I know.
how does that make you feel?
It's amazing.
Ripping
Yeah.
the shirt off, it makes you feel great.
Yeah,
It's a lot easier.
Yeah, you just if y'all didn't see it, he did wink at me at the end, and so we're gonna
It was-
actually.
Gotta edit
Well,
that
you were
out.
talking about the ripping of the shirt.
No, he purposely
so
did it with his left
washboard
eye,
abs.
which you can't see. But again, the tension here is now shifted between Patrick and Ed to just Ed and me. So we're going to get back to the story of Snaps. Naming a company, right? Which again, like I named most of my companies after me, which is very, there's no uniqueness to that. But how did you? Actually, yeah, and I do feel like my hair is going to catch fire, but that's because I have too much product. But with Snaps, I mean, what was the journey like? I mean, naming a band is like the most difficult part about being in a band, other than actually having musical talent. But with you guys, how did you come up with Snaps?
Honestly, we wanted something that was recognizable. I think it set us apart completely from other companies. And I think that bringing the name Snaps into it kind of gave us a sense of being for what we are. And again, staying true to who we are with the Pearl Snap, I think it just kind of all pulled together.
Yeah, we
in
went
the
through
name.
several
There's
iterations.
Tons of yeah.
Yeah.
What? Can you share?
A lot of them were like, I used my kid's name. It was Hudson Paul. I was like, that sounds like a good name. I like that. But then I was like, it also sounds like a guitar.
Yeah.
So I don't really want to go there. But I wanted it to be obvious and something that was recognizable. I think Snaps is very understandable. And when we start messaging and branding, people will understand that this is what we do and this is who we are. And it'll be recognizable in the market.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question that might rock the boat a little bit? And again, I know emotions are real in here, but if you're out in public, sorry, I don't want to get. If you hear people clapping, does it upset you?
No, I've gotten used to it. It's when random people start ripping my shirt off, it gets a little awkward.
Yeah, especially if the lights are on.
That's right.
Yeah.
I like it in clubs, but not in daytime.
Yeah, and then to play off that too, and again, I'm not trying to stir the pot here, but like bringing it back to references from when we were kids, do you feel like it's kind of a short-sighted perspective from the people that came up with the clapper? Like, do you feel like it's not really fair to y'all's brand?
The clapper is a great invention, and
Yeah.
I think we're dating ourselves again because people born after 1986 don't know what the clapper is.
But I'm saying just being in the world of like being snapping titans, do you feel like that is something that was like unfair to y'all's brand?
No, I think it's perfect.
Okay, Ed, what's your favorite kind of turtle?
Oh my God, snapping turtle.
Okay, all right. And then let's say tonight you go have seafood with your wife. Is there a certain type of fish that you order?
I'll probably get the redfish.
Not
The red snapper?
Yeah, not the
Yeah.
red snapper.
No, just the redfish.
Okay, and I know y'all are both married. Your wives, if they get mad at you, like, how would you describe like their tone? Like, how do they get
They
mad?
snap.
They do snap at you.
Yep.
My wife's really sweet. I love her so much.
Okay, all right. So yeah, I just again, let's say we get a salad after this. Do you have a favorite salad place?
Snap.
Say
peas.
favorite salad place?
Yeah.
Individual place to get salad? Not really.
Okay, and you?
Yeah.
You
Snap.
You like
Snap Kitchen?
snappy salads is good
Snappy
too.
salads.
Okay, yeah. I just again, I don't know how dedicated they're. Very dedicated to the story and to the brand. But okay, let's get back to the aha moments. You go through the iteration of people trying them on. Your father-in-law doesn't fit. He feels a little bit humbled by the shirt. What was the first iteration where you knew that you had a product that was actually sellable? And these guys, by the way, they're selling a lot of stuff on their website, a whole lot. And again, that first sale from someone you didn't know. Do you remember when that was?
Absolutely.
Did someone tell you to maybe like snap out of it?
Yeah, it was a good feeling. You
Snap
know?
into it.
Yes, you're very literal.
Yeah.
You're a very literal interpreter.
Yeah,
okay.
for sure.
But I mean, the first time you sold something to someone that was not directly connected to your network, do you remember that moment?
Yep.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
that person has now bought, I don't know, 12 or 15 shirts.
Wow. Do you know their name?
Yeah. Greg Hawkersmith.
What's up? Seriously?
Yeah.
Have you met him?
No, but he lives in Princeton, Texas.
Dude, what's up? Give his address. Let's make sure people
I can get his
randomly show-
address. I'm going to hand deliver the next shirt to him.
Greg Hawkersmith, if you're watching this, thank you very, very much. Greg has ordered 15 shirts. So again, you have your first moment where you're like, holy crap, idea, concept, the ideation phase, et cetera, you actually have an audience.
Yeah.
What was that like?
So everything started snapping into place.
Okay, see, that's what we're looking for. So it started to snap into place. And again, you're 2 years past, you're 2 years, past, startup phase. You have a venture capital company helping back you guys. You have people wanting to go and be a part of this company. How do you stay focused? How do you have that sense of urgency with a sense of fear where you're still going and doing things that are...
You know, stay true to what our core mission is on this, and it's really the expansion of, the product line itself, bringing something that again stays true to Thursday happy hours, and modernizing the Pearl Snap. As long as you keep that as the central focus, I think we just continue to expand on that, and I think that's really what we've done with the summer shirts. New colors, new fabrics, and things of that sort. It's allowed us to kind of expand from there.
What are your thoughts on day drinking on a Monday?
Absolutely.
And do you feel like the Snap is an appropriate shirt for that?
It's the fits.
Okay, so the preferred shirt for the unemployed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's talk about advice. Again, like you guys are literally Googling how to go and find fabric for a shirt, and it just kind of comes up in a snap in an instant. But like, did you have people helping you, shepherd you along the way?
So we had some people we brought on to just kind of guide us. We had a designer we hired, and she gave a lot of perspective on what we need to do, what we're not doing. She helped get us into our current manufacturer, who I would say is probably one of the best men's shirting manufacturers I've seen, because we've used several now. But those people have helped guide us. I think if anybody's looking to start a fashion company, take the guidance and use it as much as you can, because trying to wing it and do it yourself is really difficult, because there's so many different iterations you're going to have to create. There's a lot of obstacles that you're gonna come in front of your way. And luckily, I've done a couple different companies, so the obstacles weren't a huge deal. But as long as you understand what they are and you can get over them quick, and you don't put your own ego in front of what needs to be done, you should get through them pretty quick.
Anything you want to add to that?
No, I think that keeping everything in perspective and making sure that, again, the ego's not in prohibiting anything, but keeping yourself focused on a central mission and central goal has always been something that I think we've done very well.
How about level up from that? How do you do it with a friend? How do you guys maintain
We just don't have friendship.
with each other?
We're more of acquaintances now.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Had y'all met in person before today?
Nope.
Didn't feel like it.
So there was a dating app?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah. Why did you not call their company Catfish?
Yeah.
For real though, I mean, how do y'all do that? How do you keep church and state separated? Where you guys obviously you become family over the course of being business partners. Has that been difficult, kind of checking in and checking out?
No, I think it's we both have families, and we both have a lot going on with kids, but we also know when things need to get done, and Ed's been over at my house when all my kids are running around and acting crazy. I've been with his family. We've hung out at Disney World together. We've been friends since he's had another kid, and I've had another kid in the meantime. So there's really no, we don't really butt heads too much. I think that helps, right? If you have common goals and common vision, that's right, common goals, common objectives, and if you can keep to that core, there's going to be some things that you might not totally agree on, but you just don't let it get in the way.
Yeah.
So leave the ego aside, if you will.
100%.
So let's talk about goals, right? What is the goal here? Knowing that the hero product, is the Pearl Snap shirt. 6 months down the road, a year down the road, what's the vision for Snaps?
There's a lot of different visions. However, I think that, looking into, again, keeping ourselves focused on developing further products, different patterns, different colors, and different styles is something that we're very interested in. I think also developing other lines in terms of an outdoor is something that's very appealing for us. And I think that there's some untapped markets within women's wear as well. That we're definitely looking into in the future as well.
You did mention in our idea session earlier a Pearl Snap bra. So maybe expand on that, like a sports bra.
Well,
Pearl Snap.
this can rip pretty easily. So
okay. So I think you just shared that. Okay, cool. So let's talk about advice too. Whether you guys, again, there's no ego involved in this, and you've sought advice out from people that maybe have done it before. You're taking your own advice, but if you were to go and share the best advice you've received on the journey so far over the last 3 years, what would it be?
Don't get deterred by small obstacles, because there's going to be a ton of them, right? When you get to a big obstacle, you'll know what it is, because it might be something that deters you from moving forward. The small obstacles, just move forward and try to stay on the same page together, and you should be fine.
yeah, I think just collecting our minds together and realizing, if there is an obstacle that comes your way, just basically saying, how are we going to achieve and get around this thing? So.
How about going all in the CPG world, right? If I was ever going to start a clothing company or a beverage company or anything that is wearable or consumable, I would never be caught in public without having that a part of me, right? A direct extension. Is that something too, to where y'all have dedicated it every single day? For real, you're going to wear a Snap shirt?
I either have a Snap shirt or a Snap hat on 24/7. And I told my wife that when we started. I said, I hope you like Snaps, because I'm pretty much only going to be wearing those.
Tossing a bunch of shirts out.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, but like even at the gym or at church, at the airport, you found a way to go and be your own brand ambassadors.
Yeah. You have to.
Yeah. Our white Landry's all the time at church that are blue.
Mm-hmm. All my
you got choked up for a second.
I was so crying.
Yeah,
about it.
That's cool. No, that's because church and white Landry's and Pearl Snaps. Again, you got to go all in. And I think some of the best advice I've ever gotten was, if you're going to be a bear, be a grizzly bear. Which means if you're going to do something, you got to commit to it. And again, these guys have worn their shirts every day for 2 years. They're going to wear it every day until something happens later on down the road. But the next question, as a business owner, as friends, and as people that have priorities way more important than work, what does balance even look like? How do you guys go and do that, knowing that you're founders? This is your livelihood. A lot of the future of your dependency is on this company. How do you go and actually separate yourself from the business?
That's hard. I think that's probably one of the hardest things, especially as a founder and growth stage and early stages. There is a very difficult. It is very difficult to have that time and separation. It's allocating time towards the kids and the family, but realizing that at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock at night you may be picking up the computer and doing some more work. Talking to different manufacturers and everything. Sometimes we set that at 10, 11 o'clock at night. So it's just understanding how to allocate that time, and it is something that you struggle with, but you have to make time for.
So you referenced picking up a computer. Would it be a laptop or a desktop?
Desktop.
Okay,
These guns are pretty.
Okay, no,
I agree.
I was just wondering. And how about you? Balance. I think it's a blessing and a curse to really find something you believe in. Where I struggle with it. I personally think it's impossible to have work-life balance when you're a founder and you really believe in what you're doing. Which, embarrassingly enough, it's like time blocking time with family or with quiet time, RajFit, et cetera. But what does that look like for you? How do you feel like balance can be relatively perfected?
So I don't know if it's ever perfected, but you kind of get into a rhythm of this is what your day is going to look like. If something comes up that you need to jump on a call, you just have to be able to kind of balance, because with me, I have 3 kids and I've got a wife. So she's been extremely supportive, whenever I need, time to do some work, she'll pick up the slack and help the kids. And without that, it would be really difficult. I mean, having 3 kids is a tall task, and it's a job in itself. But knowing that what we're doing is for a purpose, and ultimately where we want to get to is very clear. So, after a certain period of time, you fall into a rhythm. I have to wake up at, if I'm going to go work out or do something like that, I got to wake up at 4 a.m. because I know during the day I'm not going to be able to cut out and go to the gym or take care of myself. It's really about doing it on my own time.
Yeah, and we're in Central Time Zone. When you say 4 a.m., what time zone?
That's Central Time.
Central Time. Okay, I just want to keep it real. And then he mentioned kids. And then just as far as brand dedication, heavy question, what do you think you love more, Snaps or your kids?
You can answer honestly.
I'm gonna have to say kids. However, there's a 1A, 1B.
Yeah.
1A, 1B. I mean, do you consider Snaps like your...
It is our baby.
It's collectively?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So who's the mom and the dad?
Well, I don't want to say this, but Ed's the mom. He's a lot more nurturing.
Oh, yeah, it works. I mean, it's a great yin and yang relationship. So let's talk next steps for Snaps. You mentioned different extensions of the clothing line, whether it's a true outdoor shirt, a fishing shirt. Yeah. They have the hats. They have other stuff. I mean, what does it look like? What would give you guys like a level of satisfaction a year from now, other than just selling a bunch of shirts?
I think having the more brand loyalty we get with people and getting that positive customer feedback, repeat buyers is really, reiterating that we're doing something right. I think
Thomas in Princeton, shout out, right?
Greg Hawkins.
And Thomas, another guy named Thomas just bought his 16th shirt. So
he's
Greg,
beating Greg.
competition.
I know, yeah. I think listening to those customers and figuring out what they want to see and what we're doing, the feedback, if we keep working off that, short sleeves and patterns, that development was based on our feedback. Yeah. So, when we move into spring of 2024, we've already started doing the development. So I think...
That's crazy. So you're a year away from anything potentially being in the stores or online, and you've already done essentially the design for it.
Yeah. And you have to do that because...
We say about 12 to 18 months in advance.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
One of the last questions, again, getting personal. If he was ever in trouble, do you think you would ever be comfortable giving him the shirt off your back?
No.
And then for you?
I would, yeah.
Okay, and then would it be easier to give him the shirt off your back if it was a Snap?
Oh, way easier.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. And so maybe that's part of like the evolution. By the time this airs, maybe you will become,
more comfortable.
Yeah, and that's what living in Texas will do.
Yeah.
It makes you, really want to give you the Snap off my back.
Yeah.
Yep.
How about supporting Snaps? So, I'm assuming you guys have social media handles. What would that handle be?
At Snaps Clothing Co.
Okay, thanks for the @. Part.
You got it. Just for people that are born before 1986.
And then on the internet, what's the best internet site?
Snapsclothing.com.
Is there a www?
There is. There's HTTPS.
Okay.
It's secure.
Okay, secure. And then there's 2 dots and 2 backslashes.
www.
Okay. Yeah. And in closing, again, like let's say that if Snaps rapid fire, I'm going to snap some questions at you. If Snaps was a celebrity, what would it be?
Matthew McConaughey.
And then if Snaps was a song, what would it be?
I don't even know. I'm trying to think of a good song that starts.
It's a really long song.
What's the?
Pearl Snap and Bourbon.
Yeah.
Cheap Bourbon and Pearl Snaps. What is that?
Jason Boland.
Oh, the song no one's heard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everyone's heard that
and then
song.
if Snaps was a city, what would it be?
Dallas.
Dallas. Okay. If Snaps was a color, what would it be?
Blue.
If Snaps was an animal, what would it be?
Snapping turtle.
Okay. Who's your favorite kid? Snaps.
Oh, Snap.
Oh, Snap. It's fun. It's fun watching this. I've loved becoming friends with you guys and helping share this story. But it's fun to me to know that it reminds me of a couple other brands I've been able to be a part of from being a friend and an investor, is that you guys have what other people cannot gift you or give you. You have vision, and you got your blinders on. And I think that when you find founders that are like that, you're not going to lose. It's just a matter of how much time it's going to take, which obviously it's proven to not take that much time. And so, cheers to y'all. And if there's any parting wisdom you want to share with future entrepreneurs, other entrepreneurs, now's the time to do it. This is your business obituary.
I would say, don't let anybody tell you your idea is bad, and don't fool yourself into thinking your business idea is good.
I want to do Pearl Snaps, but I want to do them on the back of the shirt.
Ooh. I'm not going to tell you it's
seeking
bad.
investors.
I'm not going to tell you it's bad.
But
I'll let you do it on your own.
Okay.
Let me know. I might be a seed investor.
Okay, done. Yeah. How about you?
Honestly, I think the most important thing for us is just, is to honestly look at it and just kind of have your vision and stick to it. Stick to true to the core and go create it. You're gonna have obstacles that come your way, but just achieve and override.
Actually, last question. You mentioned vision. Does it concern you your business partner wears readers?
Yes, it does. He's definitely a lot of gray hair and a lot of readers.
That's true. These grays have come in fast.
Yeah, they
Kids will do that.
Yeah, you got to keep it snappy. This is it. These are the guys. These are the guys behind the brand that you're going to see all over right now. Snapsclothing.com, social media at Snaps Clothing. They're going to have everything from outdoor shirts, indoor shirts, maybe even shirts with snaps on the back, which we're going to talk about off record. But there's an age-old saying in the world of investing, which you've all probably heard, and you invest in the jockey, not the horse. In a situation like this, I think we truly have great jockeys and we have great horses, and we have a product that's very sellable. We also have founders that have zero ego, which I think is very, very rare in an industry where you're truly disrupting something that has never, ever been disrupted. So cheers to Ed and to Patrick. Be sure to buy your shirts on snapsclothing.com. If you see this before a holiday, there's probably some kind of discount code that's associated with the social media post. So be sure to check them out. Excited to be a part of this journey with these guys, excited to continue to share their story. And by the time this airs, all y'all are going to be probably wearing a Snaps shirt from snapsclothing.com. Thanks for joining us today.